Check it out. Today I'm going to talk about what was my game changer. How was I able to transform, from being 70 pounds overweight to where I'm at right now, 195 pounds at 46 years old, 5'10. And it's possible. Age is just a number. A lot of people thinking that, you're too old to get fit, you're too old to feel healthy, you're too old to lose weight. That right there is just that broken mindset that you have, that lack of knowledge. We're in ignorance. For a lot of years, I was in ignorance myself. To all you guys that been following me for a while, that seen my transformations, my testimonials, not only for myself, but for my other team members that are executing at a high level. Once they got the blueprint, once they understand, what macros do to the body, how to manipulate the macros, a term that's used, now like more often. You hear it all the time, especially once you start being curious about what macros are. You start, finding out, what they do. What's the definition of macros? What does that mean? A lot of people have this confusion that it was macro, a fish, what you use as bait when you go fishing. That's macros. This is macro meaning protein, carbs, and fat, the source of energy that the body needs. They just use a fancy term to, obviously, talking about protein, carbs, and fat, the breakdown of it, the energy that the body needs to fuel you so you could be able to perform, so you could be able to thrive throughout the day, so you could be able to survive. But the problem is that nobody knows what macros are. That's one. Nobody knows how much you should be eating of protein, carbs, and fat. A lot of people just eat, so we're not smart about what we're doing, what we're putting in our plate, what we're feeding our bodies. And eventually the body catches up. Eventually the body starts slowing down. Eventually you do not start burning what you're eating anymore. Like when you were younger, when you were, more active. Sometimes people, they used to play sports, so they kept themselves healthy physically, mentally. Then stuff happens. They say life happens. What everybody always says, life happens. I got married, had kids, the comfortness kicked in, and pretty much that's where I'm at right now. I'm overweight, I'm unhealthy, I'm broken physically, mentally, spiritually. A lot of people are. A lot of people are fighting still. A lot of people are like still, putting on that mask, putting up a front. Their ego, their pride's too, it's too high. It overpowers them. It doesn't let them go and ask for help, seek for help. They're still trying to fight their pride and ego that's holding you back from getting that outcome that you want, from learning what macros are. Everybody that hears a term now, should do their research on it. If it brought curiosity into your head, into your mind, you're supposed to do the research. You're supposed to go after it and see what that's all about. Because that right there is the level up needed. That's your level up to get to, where you want to go. So once I heard macros, the term macros, everybody's talking about macros. I started digging deeper and deeper, started doing my research. Then I stumbled across some coaches that were talking about macros, that were explaining what macros do. And I started learning. Then I wanted to learn more, so I hired a coach. I put my pride and ego aside. I was tired of guessing. A lot of times, it's just going to take you being tired of yourself, being tired of where you're at, until you make that move, until you make that, that move of hiring somebody, asking somebody for the blueprint, especially if they have the results, especially if they have that life that you want. It's as simple as that. All that pride and ego, all that, oh, I'm going to do it on my own. Oh, nobody teaches me nothing. I'll find out on my own. And, I don't need nobody's help. All that is foolish. That's a wrong mindset to have. That's that mindset of a loser. That's a mindset of someone that's going to be, lying to themselves, crying about their circumstances. And it's all because they have this belief, this limiting belief, and this delusional mindset of that one day, maybe one day they'll hit their goals, or one day they'll hear that one, that one piece of the puzzle that they were missing, and they think that they're on the right path now. But let me tell you, let me break it down for you. When you do find any blueprint, that you stumble across, or you do your research and you find a blueprint of how to eat your structure, macros, protein, carbs, and fat, you get this workout plan that they throw out there for free. Now, guess what? Your mindset's still weak. Your negative thoughts, your emotions, your feelings are going to get in the way. And nobody's going to be forcing you to do nothing. Nobody's going to be pumping you up to do nothing. Nobody's going to hold you accountable to keep pushing, to keep striving. There's no system that's backing you up. There's no team that's backing you up. There's no accountability that's backing you up. So that's when the coach is needed. That's when the mentor's needed. That's when the community holds each other strong. They push each other. They hold themselves accountable. That's why a community, a coach, a mentor is so effective, because you will not do it on your own. It's difficult. It maybe has happened, but those people are the ones that talk about that after 10 years of struggling, after 10 years of trial and error, after 10 years of going back to the drawing board, they finally got some traction. They finally got some results. And it was just never giving up, refusing to lose. But very little people have that mindset. Very little people have that willpower. Very little people have that urge, that drive of being self-governed, self-motivated. We all will get there sometime, somehow, some way. We'll get there eventually, with the right blueprint, with the right coach, with the right mentor, with the right team. You need a team to push each other. That's what this, life's all about. That's why they always talk about reach one, teach one. We're meant to teach each other. We are meant to learn from each other so we could get ahead in life. So if you're that one that's just stubborn, sitting in the sidelines, looking at everybody succeeding except you, the ones that, eventually they take that risk, they take that leap, and then you're going to sit there and hate, knowing that they did exactly what you don't want to do, then that's foolish. Shame on you. You're always going to be that victim of circumstance. So once you know that, macros, it's a game changer. Macros, changed my life mentally, physically, spiritually, in all areas. Once I knew how to eat, which, self-mastery is through what we ingest. Self-mastery is through what we ingest mentally, physically, spiritually. Not only what we put in our bodies, but what we feed our brains, our minds, that knowledge, that wisdom that we need. That's how self-mastery is created. Now you take your feelings, emotions out of the way. Now you're operating on, just discipline, drive, leadership, being that guiding light for others. So you take yourself out of the equation. You remove yourself out of the equation. It's not about you no more. It's about the people that you're helping, the people that you're impacting, the people that are inspired by you and motivated by you. So it comes full circle. That's how you keep it. That's how you gain that momentum. That's how you hold yourself accountable. Because you cannot slip. You cannot stop. Because if you stop, that one person that was just right there to make that change, that he was right there to make that move, and you tap and you quit because you didn't feel like doing it that one day, that right there is what threw him into that disbelief again of himself, because that one person that he was looking up to just failed him. He let him down. And I'm not going to let that happen. And when you understand, when you get to that level of self-mastery, when it's not about you no more, you will start understanding how this works. You will start understanding, showing gratitude, showing that you're grateful and thankful for every day that you wake up and are able to impact others with what you learn, with what you gain, that wisdom, that knowledge, that experience, that discipline obtained through the process, through the program, through knowing how to get that life that you want, how to push your limits, how to strive to become better, how you could break those limiting beliefs and create that warrior mindset needed for yourself, for your family, for your loved ones. Straight up, it's as simple as that, man. And it all starts with knowing how to structure your meals, how to eat so you could be healthier. Because when you're healthier, you look good, you feel good, you think more better, your clarity, you have more clarity, you make better decisions, better choices. That right there, that's the pillar. That's the pillar to becoming successful. That's the pillar. That's the conduit, you know? Your health and fitness, the conduit to a better life. Wake up and realize that. Let's run it.